Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Borderline Podcast with me, your host, Andrew Willix. The Borderline Podcast is the podcast for your mental health to try and get you the support that you need to turn that poor mental health into good mental. Tonight, I want to go through my top 3 do's and don'ts when it comes around to mental health medication. I get questions all the time about mental health medication and maybe things we should and shouldn't do when we're taking them. So I want to go through my top 3 do's and my top 3 don'ts when you're taking it so you get the very best out of your course of medication. Quick disclaimer, guys, I am not a doctor, okay? I'm a mental health advocate. I have my own podcast. I've lived through it and I know exactly how hard it is. So I'm trying to do my bit to give you the information and support that you need to turn that poor mental health into good mental health. So without any further ado, let's get cracked into it. So you've went down to the doctors to talk about your mental health and they've given you a whole selection of medications that you may go on. They're typically going to be an SSRI or an SNRI. SSRIs are selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors. SNRIs, relatively the same thing. They're working on serotonin, but they're also targeting noradrenaline and norepinephrine levels in your body to try and get you more energy. That can be overwhelming if you don't really know the difference. So always do a little bit of research first before deciding exactly what medicine you want to go on. Without further ado, let's have a look at the top 3 do's. Number 1 do. Talk about the medication that you're on with other people. Don't try and keep this a secret. There's nothing to fear or hide that you're on an antidepressant, that you're needing help to improve your mental health, okay? I know it can be overbearing. I know that it can be a little bit daunting having a perception that people might think, oh my God, they're on antidepressants. I didn't realize they were struggling so much. They're just to help you manage your symptoms, okay? They're there to help you get back to where you need to be in life, okay? There's no shame in that whatsoever. If you have a bad back, you might need a stronger ibuprofen. If you have something wrong with your thyroid, you might need some sort of medication to alleviate that, okay? It's exactly the same with the brain, the most important organ in our bodies. You're taking a medication to try and relieve the symptoms of ill health that you're getting psychologically. That's what you're doing, okay? You can talk about it. There is no fear whatsoever when taking a medication for your mental health. You're doing it for you, and that's the main thing, okay? I'd personally always let my close friends and family know that I'm going on with this medication. I'd also let work know, just so you have any side effects and maybe you're going to be taking a day off or two because you're having a hard time managing those side effects. Makes them aware. They're fully aware that you might need a little bit of time and assistance at work too, and it's generally going to be better for you overall. The more people that know, the more people that you talk about with too, okay? Number 2, do always try and take your medicine at the same time every day. It's really, really important that you're consistent with it. I take mirtazapine at night time because it helps me sleep. It's a sedative. I used to be on citalopram. That would work better for me first thing in the morning. I know people that are on venlafaxine and they have to take it twice a day because it's slow release. Now, if they were to miss one of those doses, they will know about it. Other medications, unlike venlafaxine that aren't slow release, you might not get a side effect that you've missed that medication, but you might feel different the next day. So it's really, really, really important to try and be consistent. Take the medicine at the same time every day to get the very best out of it. I'll cover this one in the don'ts, but if you were to miss a dose, don't double up the next day. That's not a good idea. And finally, the third do is always make your checkup appointments at the doctors. You're going to be reviewed for being on this medicine of how much it's helping you. Is it helping you anymore? And always be open to the fact that you might have to change your medication along the way. It might not be as effective as it once was for you, and you may need to switch it up again. So always attend your regular checkups with your GP to talk about your appointments. And if you have any worries whatsoever, you have any side effects that start appearing, go and talk to your GP. It is so important that you go and speak to a doctor if you are starting to experience new side effects, or you're maybe feeling worse, maybe more anxious or more depressed than what you were before you went onto that medication. At that point, it may be worth switching your medication or maybe even just changing the dosage slightly. Mirtazapine, for example, the higher dose is actually less sedating than the lower doses. So sometimes looking at just the dosage specific can make all the difference to you and your mental health. So always talk to your doctor if you're experiencing any troubles whatsoever. Now for my top 3 don'ts. I'm sure we're all guilty of doing these from time to time, but really try and reduce them as much as possible. Don'ts number 1. Don't drink too much alcohol when taking these types of medication. They are antidepressants. Alcohol is a depressant. By taking a depressant at the same time as an antidepressant, I'm sure you can do the math. It's not going to be very effective for you. Time and time again, I hear people that are on these medications that go out every single weekend, and on a Monday, Tuesday, they're saying how shit they feel, how depressed they feel, and how anxious they feel, and why the medication doesn't work for them. The medication probably does work for them. You're not giving it the opportunity to actually work because you're continually taking a depressant along with an antidepressant. Going out for a couple of drinks, probably having a skinful once every now and then isn't going to make the world of difference to you. You're not going to end up in ER from going out having a couple of pints when you're taking mirtazapine. Highly doubt you will. But if you're going to consistently drink and take an antidepressant, you're not going to get the full effect out of the antidepressant. You're probably going to feel a lot worse off in the long run too. Number 2, don't, and I touched on this before, that if you were to miss your medication at one day, do not double up the next day. Taking more of this in one go is not going to make you feel better straight away. These medications take a long time to work into your system, okay? They go against the serotonin hypothesis. By taking double, for argument's sake, isn't going to make you feel twice as good, okay? It's probably going to make you feel twice as bad. Your body can only handle so much of a medication at one point, plus your liver is having to break that down. It might have to go through many passes. If it goes for a couple of passes, you're not going to get the same effect out of it as one pass. So do not take an extra dose just because you missed a dose, okay? It's one of the worst things that you can do. The worst thing though is obviously coming up next. Number 3's of the don'ts, and this has to be the most important. Do not withdraw. Do not just stop taking your medicine altogether. You have to slowly and strategically reduce the dosage amount until you're going to be alleviated to coming off that medicine or before transferring onto another type of medicine. If I'm on 30 milligrams of mirtazapine, I'm not expecting to be down to 0 milligrams within at least 4 to 8 weeks. Okay, it has to be slow progressional. And in that time, you have to be evaluating, how do I feel? And you have to be so honest with that as well. There's nothing wrong. But just say you're at 30 milligrams and you get yourself down to 15 milligrams and all of a sudden the world is too intense for you and you end up back at 30 milligrams. So what? Okay, you tried it anyway. You tried to alleviate the symptoms from going on the medication in the first place. And now you've tried to have a little look, can I cope without it? If you can't, no biggie, okay? Wait until the right time, go back to your doctors and talk about maybe reducing it slower the next time. If you were just to stop, I can guarantee you're going to get some really serious side effects, and they can be very, very, very serious psychologically too. You can get a lot of distress, you can get a lot of dark thoughts. Actually, one of the medications that I'm not going to name for the specific reason is actually known as the unaliving drug, because when people withdraw from it, they tend to take their own life. That is not wise, okay? This is what happens when people stop taking their medicine altogether because maybe they're getting side effects and they can't deal with that. Go and speak to your doctor. Please go and speak to your doctor about it. It's so, so, so important that you open up those conversations and you try and get to the bottom of why you're feeling that in the first place, okay? Do not withdraw. If you're looking to come off, slow, progressional, dosage changes, and then see how you feel at the end of it. Okay guys, that was my top 3's, do's and don'ts when it comes to taking mental health medication. Please do follow for more content. It really does mean the world to me. And do please drop any comments in down below if you think that I've missed anything else off or that you'd like to be included in future Borderline podcast content. We're all here for our mental health and we're all in this together. I've been Andrew Willix and this has been the Borderline podcast. Good night.